And that is the reason why we find in the European mathematical approach of counting, they start at 1. But with Graspmatyx, we start at 0 because of the African way of thinking. The African way of thinking always felt that 0 is a starting point to all numerical directions, whether it be plus or minus.
It is a number.
It is a number.
It is a number.
Matter of fact, it is the number and not just a number. Right. 1 would be a number, 2 would be a number, but 0 is the number, meaning the foundation of all numbers. Out of the bosom or the womb of 0, all numbers flow because it's the foundation. And they define 0 not like the Europeans who define 0 as nothing. They define 0 as the circumference of all things.
Okay.
Right. It was a circle. Right.
You are basically, if I may put it this way, challenging the British dynasty with its mathematical teachings across the Commonwealth. You know, it must be a Herculean task for you to bring that sort of teaching or learning to the Caribbean.
No, because you know, people expect that to be so, but fortunately no, and here's the reason why. Because what I'm doing is enhancing what the British have given us. Okay. Right. It's not about challenging anything of that sort, right? It's an act of enhancement, right? And as a matter of fact, this has been introduced in England, in London. And on GIS you'll see with the DVD that I've blessed you with, giving you, you'll see interviews with me in England, and also how the people responding to it in England. So what people are looking for is an easy way to look at math and not the tedious way of learning it. And this is for all ethnicities, but primarily people of melanin, people of the diaspora of the Chromantin dynasty, which is Africa, or the Akibulan dynasty, which is Africa. So it is for all ethnicities, because even the British or the Caucasian children in Europe, they suffer the same way we suffer by learning math based on conceptual Greek mythical ideology. Because of the fact that I used to be a math phobiac, and after getting out, and getting out of school by the skin of my teeth, you know, barely made it out of the system, and then entering to Bible college to become a minister. Right. While being in Bible college, become a minister. By studying the scriptures, I learned that it's a verse of scripture that was very profound to me. And it says, "The Creator has not given me a reason to fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind." And based on the premise of that scripture, I realized that I can challenge my fear of math through fasting and praying and meditating and calling upon my Creator. And by so doing, I started dreaming and getting visions. They call it vision, we call it visions, right? In numbers and formulas and codes. I remembered when I awakened and then documented it and realized it's formulas. So I interpret that also as the ancestors of righteousness talking to me.
We do have, as you say, a video which we're going to incorporate for the benefit of our viewers with Dr. Yates actually taking the time to explain some of these, I'm going to use the word which is not part of your vocabulary for this instance, concepts, or perspective of mathematical systems. Folks, we're talking about an interesting topic to all of us. Dr. Yates referred to the fact that he had a phobia learning math at school. I did, and I'm sure you probably did too. And now we're looking at it from a totally different perspective.
Yes.
We'll be back with more.
Yes. My wife was always getting on my case about smoking. She said, it's bad for you. It makes the drapes smell. She even threatened to stop kissing me if I didn't quit. I said, it's my lungs and it's my life. But I was wrong. I didn't quit. I had no idea the life I'd lose wasn't mine. It was hers. 'Cause she was my life. My wife was my life.
Graspmatyx is really designed to help eradicate the fear of math. Not only from the students in school who say, oh, I'm afraid of math, but primarily for adults. The beauty about Graspmatyx is perceptual reasoning. I'll put the multiplication sign close to the 9, and I'll put a 0 in front of the 8, so 0, 8 is 8. I underline the 0 and I ask the question, what's the next highest number to 0? And it would be 1. 1 from 8 gives me 7. 7 from 9 gives me 2. 9 8s are.
He says Graspmatyx can make any problem simple, even for mathematically challenged reporters.
You bring over the 4 here, and you bring over the 1 here. Okay?
Okay.
And you put a question mark here. A number needs to go in the center there.
Okay.
What would that number be? Simple. 4 plus 1 is how much?
5.
That's it.
Really?
Yes. I know, it's so simple, isn't it?
Okay.
But that is what? Graspmatyx.
Welcome back, viewers. It's a pleasure having you with us here on GIS. We're talking about a totally different perspective to the one you would have known all your life here in Grenada, where math is concerned. We have with us Miss Isaac. It's always a pleasure seeing you, and every time I see you, I comment on all the beautiful African ethnic attire that you have and wear, and
You do.
welcome.
Thank you.
Now I understand
Good
that
morning.
you are, good morning, you were the one who's actually brought or introduced Dr. Yates here to us in Grenada. So I assuming that you're speaking very highly of the concept or precept or
Perception. Your
perception of this whole.
is on.
Tell us a little bit about the relationship here.
Dr. Yates and I have known one another for many, many moons.
Okay.
I was introduced to Graspmatyx, perhaps.
the P.
P, pop the P.
Pop the P.
Graspmatyx, perhaps 15 years or so. I know Dr. Yates has been from Antigua, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, throughout the States and the UK. And this particular visit, there was a young lady that came into the shop, and she purchased one of the DVDs on Graspmatyx. And her mother called me the next day and said that the child was ecstatic. Said, "Oh, Mom, this has helped me so much. Where has this man been? Where has he been?" So immediately I called Dr. Yates up and said, "Dr. Yates, it's a young girl here that she's just fallen in love with Graspmatyx." Dr. Yates immediately said, "I'm on my way."
Okay.
He said, "I'm on my way."
Keeping that secret away from us.
Oh,
Is
no,
that
no,
what
no.
it is?
Well, you see, you must remember.
Oh, member?
You must remember. I always invite you to come to
That's correct.
the big parish of St. Andrews, to Rastafari Dynasty, to unveil the gems that we have there. So definitely. So
I've been keeping away from the secret of Graspmatyx.
You're missing it.
Okay.
So when Dr. Yates immediately, so within days he was here. So we had a great time at the St. Joseph Convent.
You visited a few schools.
Definitely, with Sister Lucy Gabriel, and also T.A. Marichal with Dr. Samuel and Sinclair, and the Chief Minister of Education, Mr. Ogilvy. And so it was very well received. Very well received.
You've had also made a courtesy call on the Ministry of Education.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely. And the most important thing is our children. Our children to learn mathematics, to not be afraid of mathematics, to even know that they do not have to be afraid of mathematics.
Yes.